Shine, flies, be patient, cause good things happen in time. We gon' get it right, we gon' get it right, we gon' get it right. We gon' get it right.
Protest the anthems, yes, we chanting a movement of people. It's like we dancing to the ministry of, it's the energy of, in memory of them that we love. The trinity of the people, the peace, the power, the truth. We speak the powers even louder. We can say it blacker, we can say it prouder. A woman vice president that went to Howard. Now we talk helping black businesses, and our differences is magnificent. Bringing light to the point where the prisons is. I was told good life is where forgiveness lives. The ascension is to leave what's left behind and feed the seeds with deeds that bless the mind, caress the mind, and question justify with you and God in time, our best align.
Shine, flies, no time to waste while it's passing you by. Shine, flies, be patient, cause good things happen in time. We gon' get it right, we gon' get it right, we gon' get it right. We gon' get it.
Can I be a better father, son, a better grandson, honoring Fannie Lou's and the Fred Hamptons, the Harriets, the chariots that carry us to various areas that marry us to progress. Yeah, we the harvest, the lovely days and midnight marauders, even through charges and days of darkness. No, we in the hands of the greatest artists. I see it in the waters, I see it in our daughters. They could be bridges that know no borders. For so long, them folk tried to ignore us. So we got the ballot boxes to vote for us. Peace to Stacey and the people of Georgia who galvanize so that we can move forward. Steps are ordered with the presence of mind. Everything's more beautiful in time.
Shine, flies, no time to waste while it's passing you by. Shine, flies, be patient, cause good things happen in time. We gon' get it right.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai, your host and White House correspondent. I'm in touch, and so you be in touch. Be sure to follow me on all the social media platforms at Dr. Nii-Quartelai. Just type in Dr. Nii-Q. That's DRNIIQ, and I pop right on up fresh for you to follow. Have you downloaded the KBLA app? And if you haven't, go ahead and do that. But if you have, tap your neighbor on the shoulder and say, go ahead and do that. Download the KBLA app to listen to us live or on demand, or simply tell Alexa to play KBLA Talk 1580. And there you'll have us right there in the palm of your hand. Last but not least, subscribe to A More Perfect Union podcast. A More Perfect Union podcast. That way you'll never miss an episode. How about that? Well, I talk about not missing anything. Again, the clock is ticking. Our KBLA Talk 1580 4th anniversary events are fast approaching, and seating at all four, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, of our special events is getting tight. If you haven't already, you may want to register at KBLA1580.com, our website. If not, let me just take a moment to encourage you to stop what you're doing so you don't get left out, because you don't want to be left out. We're cooking up some really good stuff. It's our 4th anniversary, and we want to celebrate it with you. If you're planning to join us for our 4th anniversary celebration and barbecue on the Juneteenth holiday, we're asking everyone to bring a food gift card of any amount for the victims of the Altadena fire. Whether it's a grocery store chain gift card or a restaurant gift card, we're not being picky. We're grateful for whatever it is that you can bring to help the families that are still displaced by the wildfire. So go ahead and do it. Go to the KBLA1580.com website right now and sign up for the events that you plan to attend. Remember, all of our anniversary events are free, but seating is limited. So you got to register. Thank you in advance for doing exactly that. Now it's time for your national news roundup. It's time for you to decide the good, bad, and ugly headlines of the day. And kicking us off, a Walmart billionaire has a number of folks doing a double take. Forbes is reporting that billionaire Walmart heiress promotes nationwide anti-Trump protests. That's right. Walmart heiress Christy Walton, one of the richest women in America, has joined a small group of billionaires speaking out against President Donald Trump. The 76-year-old Walton, who's worth an estimated $19.3 billion, that's according to Forbes, she paid to take out a full-page advertisement in the New York Times on Sunday, calling on readers to mobilize on Saturday, June 14th. The advertisement appears to be an escalation of one she paid for in March, also in the Times print edition. Now, at the top of the ad are the words, "No Kings," which appears to reference a political organization that's coordinating hundreds of anti-Trump protests across the United States. This Saturday, June 14th, the same day, Trump is slated to host a military parade in Washington, D.C. Now, organizers of the counter-protest told Axios that they're expecting this to be the largest single-day rally since the start of the administration. No Kings spokesperson Andrew Cook told Forbes that there will be more than 1,800 events across the country. The group is not planning a protest in D.C. as part of their plan to make action everywhere else. And so don't be surprised if you don't see them in D.C., but they intend to be everywhere else. And for the folks in D.C., you can just drive over to Maryland, drive over to Virginia, or catch the metro and be a part of those festivities. The advertisement also lists 8 different principles that Walton supports, from caring for veterans and children to defending against the, quote, aggression of dictators. We are the people of the United States of America. The honor, dignity, and integrity of our country are not for sale. That's what the ad reads. And according to a person with knowledge of Walton's thinking who spoke on conditions of anonymity, this ad is a personal message from the billionaire, encouraging people to engage peacefully and civically in next weekend's events on June 14th. Her message promotes peaceful dialogue and sharing of diverse views and voices. She condemns violence in all forms and continues to emphasize the importance of listening to one another. Randi Weingarten has weighed in. She's the president of the American Federation of Teachers, one of the organizations that's partnering with No Kings to organize these anti-Trump protests. Randi Weingarten said, quotes, "People from all walks of life support No Kings because our country was founded on the idea that presidents answer to the people, not to authoritarian overreach or violence." Walton owns an estimated 1.9% stake in Walmart, which she inherited after her husband, John Walton, died in a plane crash in 2005. And so if you feel so inclined, go ahead and be a part of the fun. In other news today, we know that the Southern Baptists have overwhelmingly called for a ban on gay marriage. The Associated Press is reporting that Southern Baptists overwhelmingly endorsed a ban on same-sex marriage, including a call for a reversal of the U.S. Supreme Court's 10-year-old precedent legalizing it nationwide. And so they still mad about that. And now that they have conservative grip on the Supreme Court, they want to redo. They also called for legislators to curtail sports betting and support policies that promote childbearing. The votes came at the gathering of more than 10,000 church representatives at the annual meeting of the nation's largest Protestant denomination. The wide-ranging resolution doesn't use the words ban, which is so strange to me, because if you really about that life, if you really feel strongly, if you are 10 toes down, then say it. Don't hide behind it. the wide-ranging resolution, it doesn't use the word ban, but it left no room for legal same-sex marriage in calling for the, quote, overturning of laws and court rulings, including Obergefell versus Hodges, that defy God's design for marriage and family. Further, the resolution affirmatively calls, quotes, for laws that affirm marriage between one man and one woman. And so if you call for a ban, call for the ban. If you feel froggy, then leave. The Southern Baptists aren't feeling as froggy, I guess. We'll see what becomes of that. In brighter news, I got a report on someone who is homegrown from these LA streets. Also, someone who has an open invitation to join us right here on A More Perfect Union, anytime, any place. Kendrick Lamar, if you are listening, if your people are listening, as I'm told they listen from time to time, we would love to have you here to talk about your work, your incredible work, your incredible tour, the incredible year that you're having, and get your thoughts on some news of the day. In the meantime, folks should know that Kendrick Lamar dominated the 2025 BET Awards with the most wins. The Griot is reporting that Kendrick Lamar continued his winning streak last night at the 2025 BET Awards. As stars gathered for culture's biggest night, Lamar celebrated not one, not two, not three, but five awards, including Album of the Year, Best Male Hip Hop Artist, Best Collaboration with SZA for their song Luther, Video of the Year for Not Like Us, and Video Director of the Year with his creative collaborator Dave Free. In addition to walking away with the most awards for the evening, Lamar made history with his Best Album of the Year win. The Not Like Us rapper now joins Beyonce in being one of the only artists to win twice in that category. And in 2018, he won Album of the Year for his Pulitzer Prize-winning project, Damn. The evening was also filled with wins for artists like SZA and Chris Brown and Doechii, and a whole lot more. And it was really great to hear that Doechii won her first BET Award for Best Female Hip Hop Artist, and she took a moment to condemn President Trump's immigration crackdown and stand in solidarity with protesters and oppressed communities. We certainly love seeing her exercise her agency and use her platform, use the BET platform to draw attention to matters of great concern here in the city and county of Los Angeles and too many cities across the country. When we come forward, we're digging even deeper into today's headlines. Also, a little bit later, you don't want to miss my conversation with former New York Times opinion columnist Charles Blow. He has a special that's out on Hulu just in time for Pride Month that you definitely want to hear about. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
You got a lot to say. Let's do this.
Let's get it.
On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium. Have inspiringly moderated all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work. On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited
I get it.
And our 4th anniversary, there will be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
How are you?
KBLA Talk 1580.
What's going on? What's going? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
With the
We're going to New York
Empowerment
tonight.
Congress for a community
how it
celebration
is.
and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower.
You remember how it is. I'm sure the muscle memory is still there.
Face of chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
Love you. Love you.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
We have no permanent friends or permanent enemies. Only permanent interests as we effort to build a more perfect union.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, there is a lot afoot here in the city and county of Los Angeles. Some very, sort of disturbing efforts that we have seen on the part of President Trump, ordering additional troops, additional National Guard here to Los Angeles to help supposedly help protect federal buildings, federal property here, but also to aid in these ICE raids and his mass deportation campaign. I heard probably about the clearest message from Democrats in Washington today. And it's no surprise that that message came from the former House Speaker, Speaker Emeritus Nancy Pelosi. I want you to hear just a little bit of what she shared today on Capitol Hill to really help people understand what is happening and draw attention to how and why the actions of the president today fly in the face of the actions that he took on that infamous day, January 6th. Take a listen to what Speaker Emeritus Nancy Pelosi had to say.
Thank you, Congressman Gomez, for putting this letter together and bringing us together this morning. I listened in traffic. Mind you, for what they had planned for the weekend, they had blocked off a whole lane of traffic. So it took what takes 8 minutes, took a half an hour to get here. Happy birthday to you, too. But in any event, thank you. And I could hear by my staff's phone what others have said, and I associate myself with their remarks. Here's the thing. The president has said he can't send in the guard without the governor's agreement, permission. The president has said, I don't know if I have to obey the Constitution. I hope the president would read Article 10 of the Constitution, and I urge all of you to do that as well, because Section 12046 of Article 10 says that the National Guard cannot be called up by the president without the consent of the governor. So that is the basis under which he's proceeding. That is the basis on which the governor of California is suing. Really, I think it's really important for people to know how this came to be. Raids that they were holding, situations where if your case is not settled, if you're still out there and haven't had a resolution of your status, you have to, by law, report in on a regular basis. You are obeying the law. And now they are deporting people for obeying the law. So as others have said, it's a distraction. It's really stupid, because we understand that we are a nation of immigrants. We want people to have a facilitation of their status. We do not want any violent protest, and that would be addressed for those who are acting violently. I do want to say two more things. One is, and I say this as a former party chair, when there is a large gathering of people, the anarchists see it as an opportunity and they move in. So always have to be careful whether you see a burned car or a broken window or whatever it is. It may be the exuberance of the moment, but it may be the anarchist setting in. I heard one of the former police chiefs of Los Angeles speak about this on Sunday. Secondly, and you know this to be true, and I haven't seen it really reflected so much in the press. In a bipartisan way, on January 6th, with violence against the Constitution, against the Congress, and against the United States Capitol, we begged the President of the United States to send in the National Guard. He would not do it. Not only would he not do it, when law enforcement people were being harmed, some later died, he would not send it in when an instigation that an insurrection that he incited was causing damage to those assigned to protect the Capitol and the Constitution that day, to accept the results of the Electoral College. That day, he didn't do it. He forgave those people. Now his people want to raise money for them. And yet, in a contra-constitutional way, he has sent the National Guard into California. Something is very wrong with this picture. Inconsistent in his actions, contrary to his own statement that he couldn't, of a year ago, that he couldn't send anyone in without the governor's consent, any place, and in violation of the Constitution. Thank you again, Mr. Gomez.
That was Nancy Pelosi, Speaker Emeritus Nancy Pelosi, making it very clear that something ain't right with this picture. The bread ain't fresh. And one way or another, we're going to get to the bottom of it. When we come forward, we're switching gears. I'm looking forward to sharing a conversation I had with Charles Blow, a former New York Times columnist who has a special out on Hulu just in time for Pride Month. You don't want to miss this conversation. When we come forward, you're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
The audience is listening, thought-provoking, eye-opening, heart-rendering. This is where authentic voices meet powerful discussions on culture, community, and change. This is where Black voices matter. He's breaking boundaries, amplifying diverse perspectives, and tackling the issues that matter most to you. You're inside A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nii-Quartelai on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says the city is being used for an experiment as the federal government sends in troops over immigration protests.
This kind of atmosphere, it creates a chaos in our city. People not sure whether they should go outside, whether they need to stay inside. We did not need this.
She called claims of an invasion by immigrants despicable and warned of federal overreach. Court is adjourned in Sean Diddy Combs' New York sex crimes trial. His ex, known as Jane, testified again, describing nights where he watched her have sex with other men. She also shared disturbing comments he made about their relationship. Former Baton Rouge Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome, who is Black, is expressing displeasure with her successor. In a post on Instagram, Broome said that current Mayor President Sid Edwards is blaming her administration for leaving him with a financial mess. She called Edwards' claim categorically false. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
In Hawthorne, the 105 eastbound before Crenshaw Boulevard, there's a crash being worked on in the 3 left lanes, an overturned vehicle involved in that, and traffic stopped from the 405 freeway. East LA, trouble on the 60 eastbound before the 710. I reckon the 2 right lanes is stopping you from Whittier Boulevard. It's probably delaying you close to half an hour. Downtown Los Angeles, the 110 northbound before 5th Street, 6th Street, disabled vehicle sitting in the right lane.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Get well wishes are circulating for University of Colorado football coach Deion Sanders. Sanders is spending time at his home in Texas to deal with an unspecified health issue. The 57-year-old Sanders is entering his 3rd season at Colorado. The Celebration Bowl, the game that decides the Black College Football National Champion, will be played Saturday, December 13th in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, home of the NFL Atlanta Falcons. The game features the SWAC Conference champion against the champ from the MEAC Conference. The game will be televised live on ABC, 9 a.m. kickoff LA time. The Rams and Chargers are going through mandatory minicamps this week. First preseason game for the Rams is August 9th against Dallas at SoFi Stadium. The Chargers kick off the NFL preseason against Detroit in the Hall of Fame game on July 31st in Canton, Ohio. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your blood. Keep following the leader.
Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hi, I'm LA City Councilman Curran Price, inviting you to join us on Saturday, June the 14th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. as we cut the ribbon on the brand new Enel Woods Park at 8703 South McKinley Avenue. Thanks to a generous donation from Heal the Bay, the park features smart irrigation, stormwater capture systems, and space for local wildlife to thrive. And we've built a walking trail, picnic areas, native landscaping, and quiet spaces for families to gather, relax, and connect. This is part of a much larger effort to expand green spaces across South LA with 3 new parks in the works, a first-of-its-kind community center coming soon, and plans to connect it all through the South LA Greenway. So mark your calendar for Saturday, June 14th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and come celebrate a greener, stronger South LA at Enel Woods Park. I'm also pleased to sponsor the Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium, moderated by Tavis Smiley, live on C-SPAN, Wednesday, June the 18th, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Just a reminder to sign up right away at the KBLA1580.com website to join me, Mayor Karen Bass, Congresswoman Sidney Kumlater Dove, Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson, Dr. Cornel West, former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., the Sierra Club's Ben Jealous, and other Black influencers in the climate and health fields, as we continue to amplify the connection between climate and poor health outcomes for our people. Thank you for listening. I'm Councilman Curran Price.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hit me.
National news of consequence, informed opinion, and analysis beyond the headlines. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Corte, and really delighted to welcome Charles Blow to the show. Welcome, Charles.
Thank you for having me. By the way, I love your name. It's melodic.
I'm sure my mom is blushing. So let's talk about this new series that you're a part of, Late to the Party, coming out later in life. It's a docu-special that shines a light on members of the LGBTQIA community who came out as older adults. It is going to be streaming on Hulu. Talk to us about what inspired you to be a part of this project and why now?
Well, I came out later in life as well. I came in my 40s when I wrote my memoir, and I felt that this is a really important thing to put into the memoir as a bisexual man. And when I was going around, and I had no model for this, right? I didn't have the language. I didn't know a lot of people who had done it late. All the people I knew, this was a reality in their life very young. And I didn't see a lot of people coming out that I could model it on and talk to. But when I went around for my book tour, older people, many of them men, but some women, they would always come out to me. They would, I could tell who they were. They'd wait to be at the end of the line, and so no one could hear what they were going to say. And there was forlorn faces, sometimes tears. And the words inevitably were, "This is the first time those words have come out of my mouth," or "You are the first person I've ever told," or "I'm going home tonight to tell my wife, and thank you for giving me words or the language or permission." And it dawned on me that not only was I not alone, there were a lot of people out there who still needed help. They wanted to find their way back to honor. I talk about it as honor and not pride, because there's no way to be an honorable person without being an honest person. And people, particularly these people who've lived decades as an adult, have robbed themselves of that honor, and they want it. They want it back. They want to be considered They want to consider themselves to be upright, honorable people who tell the truth. And, I wrote about this in the Times, but I still felt like the most moving part of it was them talking in their own voice. They're older. There's a wisdom in it that you can't capture when you're a young person. They've lived and they know what loss is. They know what love is. They know what longing is. They know what it looks like to be on the at the end of a life, and how you're trying to reconcile things at the end of a life. And ABC thought, bought into this, and World of Wonder, fantastic producers. And I'm just thrilled that this is coming into the world, because I hope that people will be able to look at it, even if this is not your life, even if you're not gay, but you see a humanity there.
Yeah.
That's important. But if you are struggling, and if this is your life and you are trying to figure out how to come out late, that this gives you language and permission and encouragement.
I mean, I love so much about this. Before I returned to journalism, I worked on the public affairs side of the house. I led LGBTQ affairs for AARP. And so, when I first heard about this project, I thought, oh my goodness, finally, somebody sees older adults in their fullness. Right now, with the political headwinds blowing the way that they are, we just heard, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is looking to pull Harvey Milk's name off of a Navy vessel. And there are a lot of older adults that feel that pressure to perhaps go back into the closet for fear of losing their family, losing their jobs, for being kicked out of the assisted living facility. And so talk to us about how this series is situated in a time such as this.
Well, we didn't time it. We were filming before the election, not understanding what was going to happen, not even considering that. But what I do think is that one of the most successful things about the gay liberation movement has always been centering humanity. That people want to center all the exoticisms and the differences. They party like this. They go to these types of bars. They have relationships in these ways that are not the same ways they conform to heteronormative ways, and all the difference of it. But when you center humanity, you center the commonalities of it. And what the documentary, I think, does, particularly in a time like this, is remind people that these are just human beings struggling to be honest, loving people. And everyone can relate to that, no matter what your political position, your particular ideology. The idea of, the 90-year-old man finding the photo of the man he thinks was the love of his life, and trying to find that person because he still thinks that they'll still be in love if he finds him 70 years later. That's just a beautiful human story. It could be anyone. It could be any sexual orientation. It could be any identity. And so what I hope that in this moment of this kind of fractious moment and contentious moment, that this reminds people of the human nature of people trying to be themselves and be free, and what that looks like.
Speaking of being yourself and the journey towards being free, you're a proud dad, and congratulations. You have not just one kid that's a doctor, but you have another kid that I think is going to UCLA.
Yes,
medicine is to become a doctor. And so
her twin brother is a computer scientist. He reminds me, like, don't say programmer, I'm a scientist.
Brainy folks in the Blow family. We got it, Charles. But talk to us about, what's that conversation like with your kids when they know dad in one way, but it turns out that there's more to dad than what they previously thought. We know Father's Day is around the corner. What did you learn about your conversations? Because I'm sure it wasn't just one with your kids about your full identity.
It was just one. But my kids are the most progressive human beings on the planet. They grew up in Park Slope, Brooklyn. It's very liberal. And at their little elementary school, everybody was different, and a lot of people had two moms or two dads. It didn't faze them. So when I was finishing writing the book, where this would come out to the world, we would have family meetings when there was something big to talk about. And we sat out at the dinner tables, we would have family meeting, and I had printed out copies of the manuscript. And I said, hey, I'm publishing this book, and these are the things in it. And immediately, they started talking about, I've been bullied too. And it was like, wait, do you understand what I'm saying? And then my oldest son, who's 31 now, he's the fastest reader in the family. So he sat down and read the entire book in one night. I want to be this reader. And then he says, I want to talk to you. And I thought, oh, here we go. And he says, in this last chapter, I don't think you developed my mom's character well enough. I was like, I don't need editorial notes. I want to make sure you're okay. But it didn't faze them. And if it did in any way, they refused to acknowledge that. To them, it was just part of humanity.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. There are a number of folks that are currently in cities and towns and areas that are less progressive. Will they see themselves in this series?
Yes, we travel all over the country, and we are in a Black pastor who comes out in the pulpit. You can't imagine a more conservative environment to come. Yes, he comes out in the pulpit. He didn't plan it. He just said it was on his heart, and he just said it. But we travel to small places. We travel to big cities. So it is not in the capitals of gayness of America that we tell this story. We tell the story of human beings all over the country.
Well, I've got to say thank you for being a possibility model.
Thank you.
Possibility model for folks across the country and around the world, reminding us that our freedom is still available to us. And so I want to encourage everybody to check out ABC News Late to the Party, coming out later in life. It's a docu-special. And again, it shines a light on members of the LGBTQIA community who came out as older adults. It's going to be streaming on Hulu. And guess what? We're going to be watching. Now, my thanks to Charles Blow. You've been listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
Striving to make America a nation as good as its promise. This is A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up.
Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, also known as AD, a type of dementia that affects memory, thinking, and behavior, making everyday tasks challenging. But did you know that Black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? There are things you can do to help reduce your risk for developing AD. Managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure is crucial. Staying physically active, maintaining social connections, eating a healthy diet, and keeping your mind engaged with activities like reading or puzzles can all contribute to brain health. It's also important to recognize some common signs and symptoms of early AD, such as forgetfulness that causes problems with everyday life, asking the same question a few times in a row, and difficulty concentrating on basic tasks. If you see these signs in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing AD effectively. To learn more about AD and a potential treatment option, visit treatallzearly.com. That's treatallzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text EQUAL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text EQUAL to 321-321. That's EQUAL to 321-321.
Notable journalists, industry leaders, lawmakers, change makers, tastemakers, and you, working to build a more perfect union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to it streaming, A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. A little bit of breaking news. NBC News is reporting that the New Jersey governor's race is set as Mickey Sherrill and Jack Citarelli win their primaries. Democratic Representative Mickey Sherrill and Republican Jack Citarelli have won their party's primaries for governor of New Jersey. NBC News is projecting this at the moment, setting up one of the most closely watched races of the year. New Jersey is one of two states with governor's races this year, and the contest will be one early sign of how voters are responding to President Trump's second term. Sherrill beat out five other Democrats for her party's nod, pitching herself as the most electable candidate after her party struggled in the last year compared with other recent presidential elections. And as the Democrats are willing to stand up to Trump, you might remember some of the folks who were also competing in that primary. The Democratic primary featured Sherrill and five other prominent Democrats, including Newark Mayor Ras Baraka, Jersey City Mayor Steve Fallop, Representative Josh Gadamer, and Teachers Union President Sean Spiller, as well as former State Senate President Steve Sweeney. And so Ras Baraka happens to be the brother of Dominique DePrima, host of First Things First here on KBLA Talk 1580. And as we have shared in recent weeks, has been the subject of intimidation by the Department of Homeland Security. You might remember he showed up to that detention center to figure out what was going on and got detained by the Department of Homeland Security. There's a case making its way through the courts there, but who knows what effect that had in the primary, the Democratic primary. But that is news as reported by NBC News. We, of course, will keep you posted on other developments. But let me finish with this. I saw a headline today, a headline among so many headlines that were troubling, but this one in particular hit close to home. ABC News says that Terry Moran, was suspended for social media posts and will not return. That's right. ABC News is cutting ties with the correspondent Terry Moran after he wrote comments on social media that attacked President Trump and Stephen Miller, the Deputy White House Chief of Staff, referring to both men with the term, quote, world-class hater. The network said today that it had decided not to renew Mr. Moran's contract. He had worked for ABC News for 28 years. Mr. Moran's contract was set to expire on Friday, according to folks familiar with his deal. Terry Moran, senior national correspondent, he's held a lot of roles at ABC News over the years, serving as the network's chief White House correspondent for several years. He was also co-anchor of Nightline, and he covered the Supreme Court and foreign conflicts. Although less prominent in recent years, Terry Moran, he regained some visibility in April when he received praise for his interview with President Trump in the Oval Office. Y'all remember that? I remember that. His interview with President Trump in the Oval Office served as a masterclass to so many of us. I mean, Terry Moran, you're the journalist, if you know what I mean. That Oval Office interview was an indication of his enormous skill and finesse. The momentum from that, the momentum from his coverage of the Papal Conclave in Rome, all that momentum came to a halt on Sunday morning when the network suspended him hours after he described Stephen Miller in a late night post on X as, quotes, a man who is richly endowed with the capacity for hatred. Terry Moran went on to write that Stephen Miller, with regard to Stephen Miller, his hatreds are his spiritual nourishment. He eats his hate. He wrote that President Trump is, quotes, a world-class hater, but his hatred only a means to an end, adding that the end is his own glorification. Even though Terry Moran later deleted that post, screenshots of that post have circulated on social media. Allies of President Trump quickly pounced, with Vice President Vance calling the post, quotes, an absolutely vile smear. Both Vice President Vance and Stephen Miller pointed to the post as evidence of what they say is an anti-Trump bias in the mainstream media. Terry Moran, who started his television career at Court TV in the 1990s, he's well-respected within ABC News, and many journalists there were taken aback by the nature of his remarks. And so, after 28 years in the business, 28 years at ABC News, Terry Moran's career there has come to a screeching halt, all related to a social media post about the president and his deputy chief of staff. And it really raises the question around free speech. It really raises the question around, whether or not an apology is sufficient enough, or, if you say it, no grace, you lose your job. This is the moment that we are living in. I can't not disconnect Terry Moran's experience at ABC News with the experience of Jason Carroll at CNN. I don't know if you all saw the social media video of him being arrested by law enforcement, simply covering the protest in downtown Los Angeles. It really raises questions around reporting while Black, right? And so we're seeing some pretty steady and significant challenges to the First Amendment. It's pretty steady, significant challenges to the freedom of the press, to freedom of speech. Certainly folks have their opinions about people, places, and things, and sometimes those opinions pull focus from their work. But it's hard to imagine that ABC News didn't have another way to handle this. Terry Moran, a known quantity, who has been at ABC, as I mentioned, for 28 years, somebody who is a journalist, to decide to not renew his contract just days before his contract is up. It seems fishy. It seems fishy, and it seems unfair for someone who has contributed so much news and information we can trust on so many stories over the course of so many years. And so that's where we're going to have to leave it. My thanks to the entire village helps us produce a more perfect union each and every day, including our executive producer, Tabitha Smiley, our sound engineer, my brother friend, Andy, as well as our show producers, Faraji and Art. And of course, to each and every one of you, our leaders, learners, and listeners, we appreciate you. We curate this show each and every day with you in mind. We hope you've been fed by it, and that you have enjoyed leaning in and learning as much as we have enjoyed curating the show for you. Remember, do what you can from where you are with what you have, but by all means, do something. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Corte. You've been listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.